and welcome to another edition of RandomJank. Now, standard format is the format that I usually use to play Magic, and over the last few weeks, Wizards have been releasing sets called the Ravnica block, and what that is that two color combinations combine together, they make one keyword that works very well with those two colors, and that's the guild. So for the next 5 weeks, I'm going to be talking about each of those guilds, and every episode is going to be 2 guilds, and hopefully they actually work very well together. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Orzhov. It's white and black. Their keyword is extort. What it is that every time you cast a spell, for every instance of extort that you have on permanents that you control, you can tap for 1 white or 1 black, your opponents lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. First of all, if you're ever playing Two-Headed Giant, this is broken because both of your opponents lose 1 life each. You get 2 back on just 1 mana cost. There's a lot of spells that actually come into play where they don't really do anything. Enchantments are one of those things where there's a lot of people who have problems with enchantments in general, but with things like extort, you're already causing some kind of board presence, and it's a good thing to have because it helps flip the switches a little bit. The second one I'm going to be talking about is Dimir. Dimir is blue and black, mostly known for a control style of play so that your opponents don't really have a lot of instances to do very much. Their keyword is Cipher. Now what it is, you cast a spell, and then you exile that spell. But it gets encoded onto a creature that you control. Every time that creature deals damage to your opponent, you get to make a copy of that spell. Now there's a lot of really powerful stuff, like tapping your opponent's creatures, or having them just flat out lose life. There's one that actually causes them to discard a card, lose a life, and sacrifice something, and that's just, you get that running a couple of times, and it's really, really hard to deal with. My favorite thing to do is actually combine these two together. Because the cards that you're ciphering get recast, you can repay the extort cost every single time. Now, there's a really great blue creature called Invisible Stalker. It costs 1 and 1 blue. It's unblockable, and it has hexproof, so that your opponent can't do anything about it. And every time that creature attacks, it's going to get through no matter what, because your opponent's creatures can't actually stop them. So you just have to encode a bunch of different spells onto that one card. You're good to go. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy it, be sure to like it, be sure to subscribe. Put on some comments if you want to see something in the future, and I'll see you next week. I like building decks that have alternate win conditions, and today I'm going to show you one of those decks. And it starts off with a 5 mana cost artifact called Door to Nothing. So today we're actually going to go on a little bit of a time warp journey and talk about the cards that I actually used to build decks with way back in high school when I would actually play games for fun.